Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Shanice here. Happy Sunday. I'm grateful the good Lord allowed me to see another day. Kept me safe as I travel about the day. I hope the good Lord did the same for yourself and your family and friends. I just want to pick up on something connected to what I was speaking about yesterday in my video. So I saw The Woman King, and I have a video where I was very moved and touched by the bond between the mother, the young recruit, and the new friendship she established, and reconnecting with her birth mother. All those were beautiful, beautiful. Vulnerability. I just loved all of it. But I spoke to some people who saw the movie, and they felt like there was a portion of the movie where she was introduced. We were introduced to her a romantic interest. She had a love interest. And some people were like, I don't think that he was totally not necessary. We don't need to see her having a love interest. Like, that's not moving the story forward. I feel completely different. Completely different. I think it was crucial that we see her being tough and resilient and a warrior and dedicated and loyal and evolving and reconnecting with her mother and establishing new friendships. And we see how dedicated she is as a warrior. And we see her being vulnerable too, having shortcomings and all that. And it just makes sense to add the other piece of the puzzle, like a man who's sexy and who is a business owner, finding her desirable, finding her intelligent, wanting to have a conversation with her, get to know her. Now she had her guards up when she first encountered him, like, who is this dude? Where are you from? You're not from here. So once she interrogated him and discovered that he was a solid dude, then they began to converse, and they discovered they had a chemistry, a bond. And it was a nice bond. It was nice to see that little pinch of romance in this pretty much action film that's infused with vulnerability, emotional vulnerability, and connections and bonds. So it was nice to see that element. It didn't take away from me from the story. It didn't take away from her resilience, her fighting skills, her bond with her mother, her bond with her new friends. It didn't take away from any of that. Like, it showed her as a full human being, and it showed her being desired, not just sensually, but he respected her mindset, her will, her ambition, her strength. He respected all that. He vibed with it. They vibed with one another. And it was, to me, it was a crucial scene. They didn't show them being intimate or anything. They showed them like touching in a very affectionate way that we knew there was a chemistry, but they alluded to it, but they didn't show anything else. And then it was short-lived. The guy went back to Portugal. She remained in her country, but at least they have that bond, and they'll cherish that memory that they share with one another. She's been rebellious even by being with him, but she kind of followed her gut, and that was it. And it was a nice touch, because when you see other action films, there's like this. She was a supporting character, principal supporting, but they have love interest, or they have like a former wife, and they do a flashback, and we see them being loving with their wife and their children or whatever. We see, even if it's just a flashback, we see it. Or even if in the modern day of one of those type of films, they have a love interest. Even if it doesn't go really far, they still have someone who is digging them and they're digging them. If it's in a flashback or somebody new they just met on their journey in these type of action films, it's like, well, yeah, a Black woman should have that as well, even though it's mostly action. So what? So I'm happy they put that component, a romantic component, and gave her a love interest without seeing them being sexual at all, just talking and bonding. I love that. I'm glad they did that. Yeah, kudos to the writers and the directors and the producers who made the final decision. Like, we're gonna put it in the final edit. Yeah, and it's because I think it's important too to see that a woman who has all these other wonderful qualities is desired by a man who she finds desirable as well, and intelligent and kind and generous, just like herself. So it was nice to see that. And plus, it's good for, we see her being a strong, resilient warrior, but then we see another soft side of her when she interacts with him. We see another soft side of her interacting with a Zoe who became like a big sister, and with her mother, who she was reunited with as her birth mother. We saw the tender side and vulnerable side in those moments. But it was nice to see this other soft side interacting with a man she found desirable. And he found her desirable and intelligent and all those things. So I'm glad they did that. Kudos to them for keeping that. Because we need to see in films, regardless of what the character is pursuing in totality, that somebody's finding them desirable and want to be in their company and converse with them and find them beautiful. And she's a dark-skinned woman with tightly coiled hair. It's important to see that. It's important. And I'm saying from a young woman like herself to a middle-aged woman to a senior, like being desired and someone wanted to be in their company and talk with them and share moments with them. That's important for our films or when we are in films, okay? So I'm glad they did it. Peace, Chinese.